futures markets. These markets are very similar in principle to forward markets. Basically the same type of intuition that we've talked about in forward contracts obtains with futures contracts. The agricultural example that I gave could be cast exactly in terms of a futures market also. Actually, it turns out that it's more common to have futures markets for agricultural commodities than forward markets. So what is the difference between a forward contract and a future contract? Both of them are contracts that say something about delivery or purchasing a commodity in the future. Let me try to explain the difference between forwards and futures. The first thing is that both of these contracts specify that the seller has to deliver a fixed amount of the commodity at a certain date in the future for a particular price. So they have a number of features in common: the size of the contract, quality of the goods being delivered, and the timing. Now, it turns out that the futures contract is a little different. The futures contract is rewritten every single day at the end of the day. And let me explain what that actually means. Suppose we maintain our example so that we've got 1 million bushels of wheat that the farmer is selling at $4 at the end of September. That's what the futures contract specifies when you initiate it. Now, suppose that the next day that the price for selling changes. So it might be that there was some report of better than expected weather, which means that there'll be a greater supply of corn, and the price drops. So the price drops perhaps from $4 to, let's say, $3.50. Now it turns out that what happens is the contract is rewritten. And now the farmer needs to agree to sell 1 million bushels of corn at the end of September at a price of $3.50 a bushel. Now, in order to get the contract rewritten, we have to compensate the farmer. So what's going to happen is $1.5 million is going to be transferred into the farmer's account. And basically what this does is makes it easy for the farmer to rewrite the contract at $3.50. If nothing happens from that point to the end of the contract, the farmer sells the 1 million bushels at $3.50, and that generates $3.5 million. Plus the farmer has obtained on that second day $500,000. So the net proceeds are approximately $4 million, which is identical to what happened with the forward contract. Now, this is a simplified example, obviously, because a number of things could make it not exactly equate. For example, the $500,000 that the farmer gets in the second day, the farmer would probably invest it at some interest rate. And that interest rate could change through time. And that will introduce a difference between the forward and the futures. But the main idea is basically the same. The distinguishing characteristic of the futures contract is this daily rewriting the contract, sometimes called mark to market. So as the market price changes, the contract is changed to reflect the market price. What this causes is a very homogeneous contract that is traded in the market. It makes it very liquid. It makes it very easy to get in and out of a futures contract. So, this daily marking to market distinguishes a futures contract from a forward contract. Now, the example that I gave was the price of corn going down from $4 to $3.50. It could go the other way. So it might be that the price goes from $4 to $4.50. The farmer has to rewrite the contract to $4.50 at the end of the day, and the farmer has to transfer out of his account into somebody else's account $500,000. Now you might think, well, gee, the farmer might not have $500,000 to actually do this transaction. But it turns out that if the farmer is engaged in a hedging transaction, and if the price is going up like it is, that the farmer would be a very good candidate for a bank to make a loan equaling to the $500,000. And if you think about it from the bank's perspective, you actually want the farmer to engage in this hedging transaction. And you're actually lending the farmer $500,000, but the farmer's going to get the $500,000 extra for the crop when it's actually harvested and sold in the market. So the cash flows, this marking to market cash flows, are not something to be concerned about in terms of knocking the farmer out of the hedging market. Now we've talked about agricultural commodities, and that's really the origin of futures markets and forward markets. They actually began with agricultural commodities. But if you look at my website, you'll see that there are many different futures markets that are available internationally, ranging from pork bellies to euro dollars to S&P futures to corn. So there's a wide range of possibilities for hedging as well as speculation. It might be that somebody wants to come into the market who actually believes that the price of corn will rise. That's a speculator. It's not the cereal producer, it's not the farmer. It's somebody who wants to come into the market and take a position to profit from the price of corn going up. Now, how would you do this? You would take a long position in the market. You would agree to buy at $4, and you hope that the price goes up, because as the price goes up, money will be transferred into your account. Now this is a speculator, and you might think, well, will this speculator disrupt the market? Will this speculator make the market work less efficiently? Well, it turns out that we need these speculators. We need these speculators because they come in on both sides of the market, the buy and the sell side. We need them to come in and make the market active so that there's always available prices to buy and sell. It might be that we can't exactly line up the farmer with Kellogg's, so we line them up with a speculator instead.